I had a job in DC doing some financial consulting, and maybe I should just be done with running. I've had a good run at it. 2 weeks before USA's, I talked to Corey, the UA coach, and they're like, yeah, we'd be interested in having you, and let's give pro running a go. And definitely would say I'm not regretting my decision at all.
The pass was made by Margot Loggia, returning the favor.
It's Will Loggia, second straight year. What a battle.
And the young man running for the hometown Terriers will win.
Let's go, Will, finish.
Now Will Loggia taking it out.
Will Loggia, Goober. Will Loggia, we got
Will Loggia, huge kick.
Welcome to The Kick, a runner's podcast. I'm your host, Will Loggia. I love running and I love a good kick. Today's guest is none other than Wes Porter, professional runner in Baltimore for Under Armour and former legend for the UVA Cavaliers. Recently represented USA on the world stage in cross country and then was in one of the most historic 1,500 meter indoor championships for the USA. Very excited to have you on the show, Wes. Welcome to The Kick.
Thanks, Will, for having me on. Yeah, I'm excited to do an episode.
It's going to be a fun one, so let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it with that USA 1,500 meter indoor championship. Cole Hawker, Yard Naguse being the favorites maybe coming in. Neither of them qualify for Worlds. What was it like actually being a part of that?
You know, leading up to the race, for me personally, like 2 weeks prior, had run 350 and won BU Valentine. And so that was like a huge momentum boost. I feel like whenever you win a race, you feel like there's always a little more. Whether that's true or not, you feel like you could give a little more. Yeah, then I think it was the next day or that night, then Cole goes and runs 345. You're like, well, then maybe that's a little out of my range right now. But yeah, I mean, I felt like I could compete with anybody there. Having Cole and Yard have run the 3K the day before and have to go pretty hard to make the team there with Nico. I felt like, you know, I mean, those guys are so talented, and I think you said it right. Like, they were probably the favorites to make it, but like they had to work really hard, and they're human and still have to go through that a hard 3K and do the 1,500. So I thought that it was going to be kind of open. Thought that they would still be the favorites, but I thought I had a fair chance at getting top two. And then, yeah, like as you saw, like Nathan and Luke go and make the team, and congrats to those guys. And I think they just took advantage of a great situation, and yeah, super excited to see what they do in Poland. And then I ended up finishing in 6th, which was solid for sure. But yeah, I think I really fully believed I could have made it, and, you know, would have liked to be a couple ticks higher at the end of the day. But when I like reflected back after it, it's tough to be too upset with that for right now.
Yeah, you mentioned Cole having run that 345 leading into it, and obviously that makes a lot of people think like, well, if he just runs really fast in this thing, it's going to be hard for anybody to keep up. What was going through your head in the middle of that race? Were you starting to realize how tactical things were and that it was going to come down to maybe last 400, last 200?
Yeah, I think like going in, there was two thoughts. It was like maybe Cole or / Yard takes this from the gun and we string it out. And honestly, I was like, that sounded great. It's just, I think when you get to this level, it's so hard to do that, especially them running the 3K the day before. Like, that's just challenging. Like, you can do that and get away from people, but if you mess up, like you just leave it perfectly for those people right behind you if you can't outrun them. And then the other thought was maybe Cole goes out and leads it and we'll do like 29s or 30s. And that's more of what it ended up being. And that just leaves everyone in it. And, you know, there's whatever, 12 guys at the bell, or we're all together. And yeah, just still like learning how to run those tactical races, like taking a step up from those ACC championships, even the NCAA ones. Like, these ones it's just everyone's good. And, you know, everyone in that field had run like 352 or better for the mile, or, you know, 335 or better for the 1,500. And, you know, everyone feels pretty comfortable going through like 159 too flat and can move off of that. So yeah, it just ended up being more of a tactical race.
Yeah, everybody always says anything can happen in these like championship settings, but then when you see it happen like that, where, you know, you have favorites who I mean, they didn't perform poorly, but, they
Yeah.
weren't in the top 2 and they weren't really, they weren't 3rd. I think they were 4th, 5th. So it's kinda crazy to see how that goes. The Washington guys go 1-2. Pretty cool to see, like, hey, it doesn't matter if you're one of the younger guys, you're right there.
Yeah, exactly. I think you said it well.
So you mentioned the 350 at Valentine. That's a meet I know well, having gone to Boston University. And I know that that was a meet where you saw a lot of improvement over the years, going there. What did it feel like? I think you won. So you were the fastest miler at this year's Valentine Invitational. And for those who don't know, that's the meet where the most sub fours were ever set in a single meet. So it's like kind of the best of the best for the mile. So to be able to win that, run a 350, what was that like?
Yeah, I think that was like, I'd been having good momentum, but to be able to win that one was like, that felt like another jump, another level. Like, the years before having raced there at like, while I was at UVA, broke 4 for the first time there indoors. I ran one time sub 4 outdoor before that, but I'd, like, had good success there, but never, like, I just barely missed an NCAA qualifier there the year before at running 354. So I just felt like it was, like, it's lots of good results, and then this was the first, like, slam dunk, I guess. Like, that was a pretty solid field of guys, and kinda just, like, solidified where I thought I was with my training. Like, had run 354 at Dr. Sanders a few weeks before, but felt like that was a little more tactical, and then this one felt like a well-paced setup race to run quick, and, um, yeah, just felt like I got to take full advantage of it, and, yeah, to see 350 on the clock, it's like something you're capable of, but it's always reassuring to see the time that you think you can run. Um, so yeah, a pretty surreal experience, and when I learned it was, uh, 9/10th all time indoors for American, like, I was like, "Wow, that's a special list to be a part of," and, look at the names who I'm behind and, like, alright, no, like, that's a level up, and, kinda try to take it all in, but then also just, like, forget about it and get ready for the next one. So kind of a mix of that, but super cool, like, BU, obviously, that super fast and, to be on that all-time board, like, it's pretty sweet.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but your PR going into that race was 354, right? So it's a 4-second drop.
Yeah, 4 second I'd run some 3:35 1500s outdoors, so probably, like, a little bit in between there. But yeah, for the mile, like, yeah, 354 from BU Valentine the year before, actually.
You felt like you could probably run the 340 still.
Yeah, I was, like, kind of hoping at the end, I was like, "Oh, maybe that was a 340 something." But yeah, I think just everything in training was signaling, like, I'm just stronger than I've ever been, just can do more volume. I had PR'd in the 3K 2 weeks before. I dropped from 756 to 742. So it was like it was signaling that, um, like, "Oh, okay, I think I'm ready for, like, a PR in the mile." Maybe more like 352 or 353, but, yeah, to, like, get the big breakthrough was awesome, and just, like, I've been training with Foster, been training with Adam Fogg, and both of those guys, like, Fogg had run 349 and Foster, like, just recently ran 351, and so I knew, like, okay, I could if they can do it, like, I can be right with those guys. So I think it kinda bridged that gap then in my mind of what was possible.
You mentioned your Under Armour teammates there in Baltimore. We've had a couple of them on the show already with Foster Malik, Damian Dilcher, and I do feel like there's this sense of kind of, well, if he can do it, I can do it. We train together. Do you feel like it's kind of been contagious with the results you guys are able to put out there when it's almost like a domino effect?
Yeah, I think so. Like, we had such a great fall, and it was such a good buildup. I think we are just, like, having a lot of fun training, and then kinda when we all came back from Christmas break, just kinda got back in the swing of things, had a really good session, um, like, early January, and, yeah, I think it's just, like, you see, Fogg do well, see Foster do well, Damian runs well, like, it's just it, like, makes you excited because you know that we're doing a lot of the same stuff, and you wanna kinda mimic that, and, yeah, I'd say it's just, like, with the training, or on top of the training, yeah, just the belief that we can do it. And um I don't know, yeah, kind of just something in the air about like believing you're going to have a big day. And it helps when you can have that confidence because the people around you are doing it as well.
I'm almost like a fan rooting for you guys, being friends with Foster. But just to see everything you guys are doing, there's something about the NCAA now where the level is so competitive that a lot of these recent graduates are able to mix it up in the pro scene pretty much right out of the gates. Do you feel like that gives you confidence and that's a reality for you?
Yeah, I'd say so for sure. Like, just it's such a slim margin now, and there's obviously levels at the pro level, but I'd say the best example was my like true senior year. I got sixth at NCAA's, and then so like sixth, not even like it wasn't really close to winning, and then made the semifinals for the Olympic trials and was like in the mix. Not super close to the final, but like being a top like 20-ish guy in the country then, and just like going from you're just competing at the NCAA level to being one of the guys in the mix at the pro level, while I'm in the NCAA. I think the NCAA just pushes you to be so good, and it's like great repetition for or great practice for those like tactical rounds. Just a lot of good people, and especially now it's good NCAA runners like can go like pretty much straight into it. Like I saw Colin Solomon win Milrose. Like he's obviously already at a level where, you know, it's just becoming the line is a lot more blurred, I think, than it's ever been.
The USA 2K, you were second behind Ethan Strand, and then you guys represented USA as the first and third leg of the 2K relay just out of college. I guess former rivals in the ACC, if you will. What was that like, being able to represent your country with another guy who's kind of at a similar stage in his career?
Yeah, that was it was awesome. The US trial in Portland to the worlds at in Tallahassee like was such a great experience. Like one of my goals like that I've had for a little while was to just represent the United States on some sort of world stage. And there's obviously the Olympics, and this is quite a few ticks down, but it was such a cool experience to get like the USA kit, to be able to like just represent it. And I guess like at Portland, I knew it was going to be tough. But like when I realized it was just like that I was going to make it, just like a ton of relief and excitement for it. And while I was in Tallahassee, like actually in the race, just like a lot of USA chants and just such a cool experience being able to race it at home. And yeah, doing it with Strand and like even Gracie, like we're all three of us are like, I don't know, probably I think Strand's a year younger than us, but you know, pretty young, like 24 or younger, and like getting to represent the United States, it's a pretty cool experience. And one that it's like you do and you're like, all right, how do I get back there again? So yeah, trying to get back to that stage.
The episode with Foster here was the week leading up to that race. Obviously, he was representing Canada. What was that like, being able to kind of travel with your Under Armour teammates, representing different countries, and like you're racing against each other? But yeah, what was the experience like there?
Oh yeah, that part was great. Like it was actually we were all coming off of like Christmas break kind of. We all like we weren't really training together at that point, but we like all met up there in Tallahassee. And yeah, Foster was there representing Canada, and then Adam Fogg there with Great Britain. And then our coach, Corey Leslie, was actually coaching the U20 American team. So he was there as well. And then Will Lear, like that runs our sports marketing, he was there with like USA slash Under Armour. And so it's kind of a cool little Under Armour meetup there. So it felt like almost another meet that we would just go to, but obviously this was on a much bigger stage, and we each got to represent our own countries. And yeah, it was super cool. And then we race each other, and then all go cool down together and work out after the race. And it was a fun experience for sure. Like, so that's so cool to do it on the world stage, but then also have like a sense of familiarity with just all the same guys.
Under Armour Baltimore really representing worldwide there. That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
So are you in Baltimore right now? I know your indoor season has wrapped up. Is this kind of like a training block back at the headquarters? What is that looking like?
Yeah, so it took yeah, so after USA indoors just took a little downtime and then yeah, basically that was like last week kind of took some downtime and then just starting to slowly build back up again and just finished a workout today trying to help Foster get ready for Worlds, just help pace him. But yeah, be in Baltimore for a good chunk here until USA Road Champs in Iowa at the end of April, but just put together basically a good 5, 6 weeks here and get ready for outdoor slash that race a little bit. And then we'll go do some altitude in Utah after that, but Baltimore until then.
I gotta ask, I'm a football fan and I'm a Raiders fan, and what's going on right now between the Raiders and the Baltimore home team, the Ravens, I'm not liking it so much. We gave your city Max Crosby. I wasn't even happy about that, and then the trade got denied, and I want to be happy about that, but I don't know now if we're gonna trade him elsewhere. Are you a football fan? Are you Ravens fan?
Yeah, for sure. It's been a crazy last 24 hours in the football world for sure. I'm a pretty big Chiefs fan, having grown up in Kansas City. But I feel like, I don't know if I could say I'm like a Ravens fan, but I definitely follow them the second most now, and, I know, like, there's some like, the Ravens are just huge in Baltimore, obviously, and people have been freaking out, like, Max Crosby was literally, like, downtown yesterday, like, in Baltimore, and people were showing pictures like, "Wasn't this in the Inner Harbor?" And then so it's been a crazy last 24 hours. But
Yeah.
yeah, that whole situation is wild.
I'm sure most crazy for Max himself. That is
Yeah.
really wild. But yeah, I guess we shouldn't talk football for too much longer, given that it's a running podcast, and you and I will probably get into an argument being fans of rival organizations.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. Raiders are rebuilding now. We'll see if we'll finally be able to go toe to toe with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Um,
mix it up in the division.
yeah, but congrats on a great childhood of winning in the football department. I'll give
Thank
you
you.
that.
Definitely spoiled for sure.
Not a lot of races in the near future. Does that excite you? Or you a guy who kinda likes to have those breaks in between racing to feel like, "All right, now, I've been racing for a while. I've learned from that. I wanna kinda lock in and get better now."
Yeah, I'd say it's a mix. Like when it was time for like World Cross and indoors, like I was like we put together such a big block in the fall. I was like, I'm kind of ready to race a little bit. But then, you get towards the end of indoors. I would have loved to make the world indoor team, but yeah, like one of the perks is kind of get to go back and train. And like I was kind of like, okay, I'm kind of ready to put together another big block of training. And the indoor season is just so quick and you're racing, you know, almost every week, if not every other week. And just so hard to get quality workouts in and while you're racing so much. So I'm excited to kind of get another big block in and, try to take all that racing experience and, that fitness that I gained from racing and then apply that to this block and just get strong and, kind of touch up before we go into some outdoor races. But I think I get most excited about racing, but um, I know that there's some time for some good training blocks and at times gets me excited too, I'd say.
This weekend is the NCAA championships, and, you're not too far removed from your University of Virginia days. Are you going to be following that meet? I'm sure you have a lot of teammates who are competing there. How will you be
Yeah.
supporting them?
Yeah, so I won't be able to go unfortunately, but, Fayetteville is only I think it's like 4 hours from Kansas City, and so I think, my parents are and I have some family in Southern Missouri, so I think they might go down and watch, like um like we did a DMR there last year, and they came down and watched and got to, like, meet, a couple of the guys that are still running there, so maybe some family that will go, but I'll definitely be tuning in for everything. I'm so excited to see, the DMR, what they can do, see what Gary can mix up in the mile. Yeah, I'm just excited to see that whole weekend. Feel like it's fun to watch, just spectating, just with no personal, no one you're like cheering for in a race. Still fun to watch NCAAs, but with that extra layer, I'll definitely be tuned in and watching for what the 2 days.
The best programs always have a very strong alumni base and, family interest in the team. I was at the indoor championships for the NCAA last year, and it was in Virginia, so there was a big
Yeah.
UVA presence. I know it's really valuable. I'm actually going to the Patriot League Championship for basketball tonight.
Nice. Foster's been excited about that.
Right after this call, I'm gonna get ready to go, and then this episode will come out tomorrow. And hopefully, if BU wins tonight, they'll be in the March Madness tournament. So
That's awesome. Foster's been pumped. He's like, we got everyone's watching the Patriot League Championship tonight.
oh, I'm sure you will be. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try to get on the jumbotron and
Yeah.
let them know. UVA's in the ACC championship. That hasn't happened.
Yeah,
Yet.
they're I think the tournament starts maybe today or tomorrow, but
Oh,
they're looking solid. They're the 2 seed to Duke, so they
good.
should be. I think they'll end up being a 4-ish seed, but
Okay.
they haven't won a tournament game since I was in school, so since they won the NCAA championship, actually, so it's been a while. They got upset a few times and, but we're thinking new coach this year. They look solid. We can score more than 40 points a game. I think they'll be alright.
Gotta love March, and
Oh, it's such a fun couple weeks.
oh, it's the best. Filling
Yeah.
out those brackets. Uh,
Yeah.
but we've also got track, NCAAs. UVA definitely did get better, I feel like, as a program during your time there. What did it mean to be a part of that movement? And then cap it off, you were DMR champions, which is, in my opinion, one of the coolest events to win. It's just a display of team strength and a really cool event. What was that like?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was great. I would credit, our Coach Vin Lanana. He, was brought in October of my senior year of high school, and UVA wasn't that interested, in recruiting me until Vin became the coach, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know why we're not interested. Let's get you on a visit," and brought in a pretty good recruiting class our year and the next few years, and, yeah, like, he had the vision, and a good chunk of us bought into it and just got to see the payoff, won ACCs, um, outdoor my senior year, and then, yeah, following up that next year by winning the DMR. Pretty special moments there. I'd say the winning that DMR is just that was my last collegiate race, so just such a storybook ending to that, and a lot of props to Gary, like, he was on a roll then, and, like, none of us would have been mad if he said, "Oh, I wanna do the mile or the 3K, and we'll do the DMR ourselves." But he selflessly scratched, and, that was definitely the best chance for us, and seeing what he did on that anchor leg, that was a big ask, and he got it done, and pretty special moment for us, Connor, Murphy, and I, that yeah, our last races, as people that then brought in as his first recruiting class, so kind of a full circle moment, and, Gary taking one for the team and, winning NCAAs as a DMR, but now it's time for him to get his individual one this weekend, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely excited to see what Gary will do. Not on this podcast, but one of my first ever goes at hosting a podcast was with Gary, and he's such a good guy. I feel like such a character in the sport. So pretty cool that you were able to be teammates with him and accomplish what you did with him. But yeah, certainly going to be tuning in and rooting for the Cavaliers.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it should be a good one.
So did you know that you wanted to go to UVA and you were like hoping that you would be recruited? It sounds like maybe even before Vin was there, you were kind of already thinking it was a place for you.
Yeah, I honestly was pretty open, to a bunch of schools. I really wanted just, like, a good, like, cross country track program, and then, a good academic school, and I was pretty open to wherever was in the country. So looked at a few different places, like Georgetown, University of Texas, and then some local ones in Illinois and Mizzou. And then kind of went on my visits and like at the last minute, UVA then like reached out, and kind of was like, okay, like let me do a visit here, um, before making my final decision. And once I went there, and then is a fun guy to talk to, and we went and met in his office. My dad came on my visit with me, and I think we both like left that office. We're like, I think UVA is probably the place I want to go, and as long as things all add up and like we get everything worked out, like, and it's tough academically, and as long as all that stuff is good, and like I think this is the place I want to go. And yeah, super happy with my decision. Had so much fun the last 5 years, and it was great. And it was probably time to move on and and come to Baltimore now, but it was great. I loved the coaches, the school, all the teammates. Yeah, super, super great experience.
Great school. I've been on campus there once and absolutely loved it. It's beautiful. So
Yeah,
UVA is a good one.
it's a cool place.
Compare that to your process in finding your pro team home in Baltimore. What did that look like? When did it kind of all start coming together?
Yeah, so I probably had a little bit of a unique experience, in searching for teams because I finished, um, college eligibility indoor, and I was like, "Oh, I'll keep running outdoor, finish up school, but just run unattached and do some pacing, and then see kinda where that lands me." I had a job in DC doing some financial consulting, and I kinda thought, if a thing, like, pops up, I'll look into it, but, like, maybe I should just be done with running, and, like, I've had a good run at it, but I knew I wanted to end at USA Outdoors, like, regardless. It's like, I wanna give it, like, one full go outdoor. And just kinda had ups and downs last outdoor, like, placed well at Penn Relays. I did the mile, and got 2nd to Beamish. I was like, "Okay, maybe I wanna, like, keep pursuing pro," and then had some rough races, and then I was like, "Oh, maybe I should just be done." But yeah, fast forward to 2 weeks before USA's, and, I talked to Corey, the UA coach, and they're like, "Yeah, we'd be interested in having you," and uh, then kinda, yeah, talks continued for the next month, and I went and visited here and kinda felt that same way that I did at the UVA trip. I was like, "I think this is the right team for me." Just had stuff I was looking for, like stuff I just know now that I need, or like I really like about running, like a good group of guys, not only just for training, but like to hang out with, and just like that team aspect, and just like a great setup of support at the headquarters, like the gym's right there. Um, just a lot of like little things that help with running, a full-time weights coach. And so I kind of knew like, oh, this is where I want to be, and like let's give pro running a go. And yeah, definitely would say I'm not regretting my decision at all, and pretty happy, and gonna try to keep this running thing going for a little longer.
You mentioned the full-time weights coach, and it comes to mind. Foster, as my teammate at BU, I can say he spent a lot of time in the weight room not lifting. So,
Yeah, yeah.
how does he like that? Is he taking it a little more seriously? And how do you like the weights yourself?
Yeah, I'd say I would assume a little more seriously, maybe not a lot more. But yeah, I guess like weights coach slash like drills, speed dev. So I feel like we lift like twice a week basically, and those sessions are good. But I think I've seen a lot of progress in just uh, doing like speed development drills, like structured strides, stuff like that. My form is definitely not the greatest, and when you're looking for those seconds, like there's probably a few locked up in there. And Carrie has been great trying to help me. I'm far from the best, and Foster's probably a little lazier than me, but he's probably got a slightly better form on those things. But yeah, it's just another way to try to uncover those seconds, and just, yeah, work on being more efficient. And I think it's helped. Like, all of us that have joined have made improvements kind of quickly. I think partially due to that.
Yeah, from the outside perspective, that's what I'm seeing, a lot of improvements, so it's interesting to hear that it's clearly working. Yeah, obviously just gotta mess with Foster a little bit, but in all
Yeah.
seriousness, great athlete. Obviously, you
Mhm.
can't be at this level without having really, really high level work ethic, which he does. But yeah, there's just those little things that we
Yeah,
mess with him on.
exactly.
So for your professional career thus far, it seems like you've kind of punched above what people maybe expected for you. And I don't know where that breakthrough is. Like, I think World Cross was a time where maybe a lot more people noticed, like, oh, hey, this Wes Porter guy he's legit. And then being in that USA Indoor 1500 as well. But for you, did you feel like those were moments of breaking through?
Yeah, I'd say when I, like, took some time off after US Outdoors last year, like, I just missed the final and had run 3:35, um, and I, like, took a little time off and just, like, didn't wanna get caught in the moment, and I did just some reflecting. I was like, "Well, I've run, 3:35 4 times. Like, I feel like that's a sign that I'm probably ready to break through that. I'm still enjoying training. I think that, like, with another build, like, who knows what can happen." And so those were kinda my thoughts, like, that's, like, probably August. So I felt like I'm enjoying training, and I think that I can still get better. And so, like, those 2 things combined, I think, like, the belief was there, has been there, and then we just had such a great fall buildup, and just, like, really enjoyed it. And then I think going into USA cross country, like, the expectation was to get top 2 for sure, and thought I could definitely do it. But still, like we kinda said earlier, like, doing it versus thinking you can do it are 2 separate things. And I think that was a big breakthrough moment of, like, okay, like, I did it. Like, I didn't just believe in it, like, I actually made it. And I think that, you gain some confidence for sure. And just, training's more fun when things are going well. And so, like, from that, yeah, just think it kinda got the ball rolling. And, uh, yeah, just I think it's just a mix of confidence and excitement from there with good training and good training partners. And think we built and put together a good indoor and ready for the outdoor campaign.
What does your training look like? Are you a higher mileage guy, lower mileage guy? Like, what kinda, like, training type do you fit into, would you say?
Probably, like, in the middle tier of mileage. We do kind of some different cycles, so it's, like, 9-day cycles. So it doesn't really fall, like, as traditional as, like, just being like a X mile or X number of miles, a week kind of guy. But I'd say, like, m the biggest difference from college to now is more volume and intensity on the hard days, and then my easier days are much slower now. And even, like, we never took days off in college. Like, I'd go, like, 6 straight months of running every day, even if it was just, like, 4 or 5 miles. And then now I probably take a day off every 2 weeks-ish, which I've really enjoyed, I think, mentally and physically. Just nice to get a day to yourself, and I think for me, just gets me excited about next week's training, and, like, the races coming up. So I think just a combo of those things has helped.
And would you say 1,500 mile is, like, kind of your bread and butter? Like, that's where you see your future when we talk about, even years down the line, Olympic aspirations? Is that the event?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably it. I would like to get I think the 3K indoors I could be better at, and I'd like to, eventually look at that maybe more indoors. But I just feel the most comfortable and confident for sure in the mile 15. And just, like, that's how it's been since high school and, like, like, the 1,600. So I just love that distance. It's just fast enough, but just long enough as well.
For my money, it's the best event in track, so, yeah,
Yeah.
and you've got it. I wouldn't recommend leaving it, you know?
Yeah, that's what I figure. I'm gonna keep going at it until something tells me it's time to try something else out.
You're still 2 years out from LA 2028. Do you think about it at all? Is it kinda not relevant to think about it at this point?
I think it definitely, like, crosses your mind more than any other race, like, that far out for sure. Um, but yeah, I think you just think about things like what would be good experiences to kind of, like, prepare you for that, and, like, where are you relative to the rest of the country, and trying to, like, make that become a reality. Obviously, I've got some steps before that becomes a reality, but yeah, I think good experiences, having done the trials in 24, being the semifinalist, like, that's a good step. Then, trying to, getting 6th here indoors, like, just good little progressions that signal, like, okay, um, like, it's becoming a little more of a like, could become a thing, I guess. And yeah, just like basically say just try to make that final in 2028, and then yeah, get the world standard, whatever it will be then. And yeah, you just never know what will happen there. And that's obviously, I think if you asked any American, even probably anyone around the world, like that's the one circled on the calendar. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff to accomplish before we get there, but I would be lying if I'd say it never crosses my mind.
It's the big one. I think, non-track fans, that's, like, immediately what people will ask you, like, probably I mean, you would know better than anyone as a pro runner. There's probably a lot of people outside the running space who may not be super familiar with, like, what it means to be a professional runner. I guess, yeah, tell me about that, like, when you're talking to people, maybe it's family members who aren't really as into it or just even friends who aren't track friends. What does
Yeah.
your label as a pro runner look like?
Yeah, I think, there's a mix, like, when I say, "Oh, yeah, I run professionally," like, a good chunk of people say, "I don't even know that was a thing." And then they like, "What does that even look like?" And sometimes people ask, like, "No, but what do you do, like, for work?" I'm like, "No, that's what I do every day." They're like, "You just run and you go home?" And I think that's a pretty simplified version of it, but yeah, that's basically you just train and try to rest and give your body and mind the best chance. But I'd say the way I usually go about it, because there's so many of the conversations go like that. Normally, I just say, "Oh, I work at Under Armour," and they ask, like, what I do. I just say, "Oh, I do, like, sports. I just, like, do, running marketing." Like, and then that usually is the end of the conversation, or people understand that a little better if I don't wanna have to delve into a long explanation of what it all entails.
That's hilarious. That's, I guess, yeah, that's a good way of, if you don't feel like, going into it or it doesn't seem like somebody's really gonna get it, just work at Under Armour. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
What you're doing, it's no different than, professional football player, professional basketball player. Fan bases, I guess, are a little bit smaller, but,
Yeah.
it's places like the Kick podcast that can help change.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, we talk about that sometimes. We, like, will joke because 'cause we'll be like, "Yeah, it's just kinda like the NFL, but it's just like it's like if Lamar Jackson walked in here, would I think he might get, recognized a few more times, but it's in the similar vein of it all. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just 2 different scales.
Yeah. Do you so there obviously Under Armour sponsors athletes across every sport. Has there been any like opportunities or spaces where you're kind of overlapping with other pro athletes?
There hasn't been so far with me. There was one, Under Armour is partnered with Gunna, and so they were doing, like, Gunna runs 5Ks, and he would, like, show up to different cities before, his, like, concerts. In the week of USA Cross, he was going to DC, but and I was like, "Oh, I can't, like, I just was like, I should just stay here and train and before going out there." But it ended up getting canceled anyways. Foster was gonna go, because it got I think it rained a bunch or something, or snowed, or I forget, but that was gonna be a pretty cool thing. But no, nothing outside of that. I don't like, I haven't seen there's been a couple, like, random people that will, like, be at the Under Armour headquarters that are pretty big, but Yeah, no pro athletes yet.
Yeah, oh, that's cool. How do you like the headquarters for Under Armour?
Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, like, cool that the whole global headquarters is there, and also having your own track. Like, at college, it's obviously kind of a given at most places, but, like, at the pro level, most people have to train at a college or a high school. So having your own track is really nice, like our own facility, and then a weight room right next to it with, like, a sauna, a locker room, all of that is, like, something we don't wanna take for granted, so and a cafeteria as well. And all being in Baltimore, it's definitely a luxury for sure, and, cool to be around, like, the space where all the shoes and all the apparel is getting built and just all the other employees that work there.
Very cool. I think
Yeah,
that's a good note to wrap up our main segment on the podcast here.
for sure.
But as you know, we do end with 10 rapid fire questions. And we will see how fast is Wes Porter's kick.
Alright, let's find out.
You've got some Under Armour teammates to take down here. Foster, not so fast. So as long as you're under a minute, you'll beat him. But
Okay.
Damian Lillard was pretty fast. I think he was like 39, somewhere in the 30s. So
Ooh,
yeah.
I feel like we'll probably land somewhere in between.
All right, clock will start after I ask the first question. Here we go. What is Foster's favorite video game at the moment?
FIFA.
Biggest difference between college and pro life?
No tests.
Favorite event?
1,500.
Event you're most excited to follow at NCAAs?
DMR.
Favorite sport to watch other than track?
Football.
Favorite sport to play other than running?
Uh-oh. Basketball.
Most fun pro race yet?
World cross country.
Biggest goal for the outdoor season?
Medal at USA Outdoors.
Who's going to win March Madness?
UVA.
Who's running a 1,500 faster, you or Foster this season?
Uh, Me, both under 3:32.
47 seconds.
Oh, alright, we'll take it.
No, that's solid. Definitely beat Foster by a good margin. So,
There we go.
you can have bragging rights there, at Under Armour. I'm sure he'll
There we
be
go.
devastated.
Yeah. That's good. We'll let Damien take the title.
Yeah, no, he was good. I gotta hand it to him. You said DMR for NCAAs. UVI, do you feel like your boys got a chance at taking this one again?
I think so. I think they're strong. Yeah, some good experienced guys, and we'll see what the lineup ends up being, but I I think it will be good. It seems like last year everyone was kind of stacking the DMR. This year, maybe people are more focused on individual events. So, and I think we got a good crew, and yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do. I think they can just put themselves in the mix, and get that 1,600 leg down to the last 400. I think they're gonna be tough to beat.
I'll be excited to watch that one. I gotta admit though, event I'm most excited to see, uh, the Marco marketing worked on me, that men's 5K.
Yeah, I mean, that one is it's hard not to like that one. That's what I'm so excited to watch this whole weekend, like, that 5K will be great, then the DMR, it'll be a fun weekend to watch.
It's gonna be good. I think I'm more excited about this meet than most NCAAs in the past. Just the
Yeah,
buildup has been I mean, I don't even know if there's been an athlete talk more about a race, months in advance than Marco Langan, for this 5K. So I hope he's
yeah,
feeling good. I hope, he's feeling ready because he's talked about March for a while. And,
yeah.
love him or hate him, I feel like you gotta be interested. I feel like he
Oh,
executed
yeah,
that very well.
exactly. Like you said, love or hate him, you're definitely tuning in, and
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like we'll see how it all plays out, but yeah, I feel like he's built the hype for it and excited to watch it for sure.
Yeah. Only time will tell. We'll see,
Yeah.
I believe it's Friday is the 5K, so just right around the corner here. But for now, Wes, thank you for joining us here on The Kick. Third Under Armour pro to be on the show. If you haven't heard Damian Dilcher and Foster Mallet, go check out those episodes. Really appreciate you sharing your time here, and it was great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks so much, Will, for having me on.
Good luck with everything, man. Keep in touch.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a good one.